Hi everyone, my name is Rick. This video will show you how to resize 3D parts and STLs in pretty much any slicer program. They all kind of work the same, but you really need to know this, and it'll help you take any model that maybe you liked but was too small and change it or convert it to what will work for you. And like I said, it'll work with pretty much almost any slicer program out there. In this video, I used Orca slicer. Hi everyone, my name is Rick. In this video, I'm going to show you how to size. A commonly term used is called scale, but scale really isn't a good way to size a 3D mesh. STL, any 3D type file. You really don't want to scale stuff. This is on Maker World. You can download this. It's made by Arc 3D printing. Okay, so if we look at it, it's just these little slide top boxes. They're kind of handy. I think people like them. I don't know. They're okay. I mean, I normally draw stuff, but I know a lot of people like to download files, and that's fine. But when you learn what I'm going to teach you in this video, and also I'll do another video and teach you how to do it in Fusion 360, and this will work for pretty much almost any slicer program. You don't have to have any CAD stuff at all. You can do it all with your slicer. Okay, so we're going to download this from, like I said, Arc 3D printing. Okay, so I'm going to get out of there. I'm going to go here. I'm going to hit this add button up here. Okay, so I'm just going to bring in the container bottom part. Okay, and if I want to orbit around the build plate, that's this big black thing, the build plate. If I want to orbit around it, I can hold in my left mouse button anywhere but on the model. So if I'm right here, I can hold in my left mouse button, move my mouse left and right, and I can orbit. If I want to drag, I just hold my right mouse button and I can drag around. You can't be on the model though, or you're going to move the model. If you want to move the model, that's fine. That's how you move the model. Okay? So first thing I'm going to do right out of the box is, I guess we got to know the measurement of this the bottom of this box here. Now, first thing we're going to do too is, if you look at this, the bottom of the box, it's got this lip on the top of it, and that's how the lid slides onto the box, and the lid has like a nub on it, and then these two little notches right here help the lid get over the box. So let me grab the lid. Well, let me show you how to grab the lid, okay? We just go up here to this box right here. It says Add. We click on that, and then my lid is right here. So I'm going to open that, and then it's going to bring it in, and it's going to set it right in the middle, which is fine. I'm just going to click on it with my left mouse button. Then I'm going to orbit by holding my left mouse button down and clicking anywhere on the build plate except for on a model. Then I'm going to drag it down. And see, I'm looking from underneath now. This is how this lid fits onto that top of that box. Now, I'm going to orbit around. See how it's got that slit in it? It's got these two prongs that come down. So it's got this whole deal here. Now, if we want to flip this, now, the reason we would not print it like this, if we printed like it is right now, we'd have to add support underneath here. So let me show you what I would do if I had brought that in and that is wrong. All I would do is I would select it, and then I can just go right here to choose which face I want down. And then I would choose the top because it's flat. Now it's flipped the model over for me. Now see this lip that goes around this lid? That lip goes around this the bottom part there, and that's how it slides on and holds itself on. This little nub right here locks the lid on to this back wall. or whatever wall. It doesn't matter which way you put this on. I mean, obviously it has to slide on this end because it's opened right here, but you can put it on your bottom part. Both of it has these notches here, and these notches just kind of help that little nub ride over there, and then it locks it in place once it gets in there. And then to open it, you just kind of push back on the top and then hold up on the back a little bit, and it helps it open. You don't have to do that, but it's just kind of how it looks like it's engineered or designed. So in this situation, this lip on this bottom of the box here is what we want to try not to screw up, and we can't screw it up. Because let's just say if I want to be lazy and I go, okay, I want to scale this. I'm just going to scale it real quick. Everything's going to be fine. Well, I got this selected already. I can deselect it. I can select it. I have the bottom selected. I would go up here and I would click on scale, and I would just scale it up. Now see, as I scale it up, watch that top lip. See that top lip getting bigger and bigger and bigger as I scale it up? So once I change it, I could probably go a little ways maybe, but once I change it, it's never going to work again because this lip right here is too big. Now, it's quite possible you could go over and scale this the same amount and it would work probably. There's a possibility it could work, but then you've just added a whole bunch of printing and thickness, and you just don't need any of that. So let's hit Control Z to go back to where we started. Okay, so the first thing that I would want to know, I'm going to hit Escape twice to get out of scaling. My bottom of the model is selected. First thing I want to know is, hey, how tall is this thing? Let's see how tall it is. So I'm going to select my measure. I'm going to hold my left mouse button down, and I'm going to orbit. I'm going to select the bottom. Okay, up here, if you look, I have the green selection 1 pane. If I wanted to change that, if I selected something wrong, I could just hit this right here. So I'm going to select that green. That's going to be my pane for the bottom that I'm measuring from. Then sometimes it's easier to zoom in, but see how that turns pink now? That's where I'm measuring my top from. And it tells me right here, it's 14 millimeters from top to bottom. And I know it's from top to bottom because I went underneath and I chose it from there. So some models might have an inner bottom and, a thickness, like from the two bottoms, there might be a thickness in there. So I know this model is 14 millimeters from top to bottom. Okay, so then we just need to pick like okay, 14 millimeters. I hit Escape 2 or 3 times to get out of the measuring tool. So we know it's 14. So let's say we're going to make it 40. So we're going to add 16 to that. It's 40 minus 14. That's going to give us well, if it's 14 and we want to get to 40, we would add 26 to that. So let's do that. Let's make it 40 inches tall. Okay, so we know we're going to add 16 millimeters to get to 40 inches tall. Okay, and we know this is 14 millimeters tall. So what I'm going to do is I've got this selected, and I'm going to go up here to cut. Okay, and the reason I'm just going to cut it in the middle. And the reason I'm going to do that, I'm going to undo because I moved that. I didn't want to move it. I want to cut it in the middle because there's nothing that's going to matter. There's no lips or anything that's going to matter for me doing that. When I hit cut, it's going to cut at 7 on my Z right here. Planer. It's giving me the measurements. It's 72 inches long, or 72 millimeters long, 42 millimeters wide, and here we go again, 14. So I didn't even have to measure it. It would measure it automatically for me when I go to the cut. Okay, so right now I'm going to do cut 2 parts. And this is going to get weird when I do this, and just follow along because this is how slicers work. I'm going to hit cut. Okay, it didn't get weird yet, but over here in our object panel, right now we have an A, which is the top part, and we have a B. Now that went from one assembly over here. We had the bottom, the container bottom, one assembly. Now it's two assemblies. Or it's one assembly, but two objects. Okay? So what we need to do is there's a few ways of doing it. You can select it over here. You can hold your shift in and select like that. Or you can just go out here, hold your shift in and select everything. Now, the reason it's not good to do that is because I selected the lid too. I really don't even need the lid on there. I don't know why. I just have it on there to show you guys how that worked. But I'm going to select over here on the left, I'm going to select A and B. Then I'm going to right click. Well, let me do that again. I'm going to just select this container. Okay, see where it says pocket container? Select the container, bottom, and I'm going to right click on there, and I'm going to go split two objects. Okay, now that got weird, didn't it? Now I have, what do I have here? Oh my goodness, I can't even figure out what I got going on here. It looks like I made my container, the bottom of it, half the size it needs to be. Oh my goodness. Well, that's just because everything that gets split on a slicer bed goes down to the bed. So now I got these, no longer have an assembly for the bottom. I have an assembly or a lid part, but these are my two bottom parts. I got A and B now, okay? A is my top. Well, let's see. I'm going to go over here to move. I have A selected, and I'm going to move that. What moves? Looks like my top, doesn't it? Yep, that's my top moving. See the lip on the top of it? If I let it go, it's going to go back down to the build plate, okay? So what I want to do, and this is where it gets weird, and you I don't know, it's just kind of weird how it works, but that's how it works. All right, I'm gonna hit escape to get out of the move feature. I'm gonna go, I want nothing selected. Actually, you know what I can do? Also, I can leave my A, let's see something here. What did we just figure out? We just figured out A was the top, so I'll put that back. And I want to select B, and then I want to right click, and I want to say, well, let's do this. I got B selected, and it unselected it, which was fine because I clicked on the plate. So I have nothing selected. I right click on the plate, and there's a lot of ways to do this, but I'm just showing you some of the ways I use every day. I right click on my build plate with nothing selected, which it automatically unselects everything. I'm going to go add primitive, and I'm going to click on cube. Now it left a cube in the center of my build plate. I'm going to left click on that. I'm just going to move it to the side, because this cube, believe it or not, is going to help me hold our lid, or not our lid, but our top part of the bottom container up, which we figured out that was A. Okay, because watch, if I move A up, it's the top part. See, with the lid on it, or with the lip on it. So I'm going to let that go, and I'm going to click on A over here, and then this is where it gets kind of weird. I want to select A and B. A is my top, and this cube, I want to select A and the cube. And there's really no way to do that. I mean, like here, I'm going to select A, and then I'm going to hold Control in, and okay, that let me do it. So you got to remember that. To select A and the cube, you're going to have to go A, and then hold Control and select the cube. And if you look over here on the left, they're both selected. And a lot of times what I do is I just move my cube up. Like we could select A and we can select the cube by just holding Control in, and it skips selecting B here, which is fine. You just got to figure out what works for you when you're doing it, okay? So now I have those selected. Then I can take my move tool up here, and I'm just going to move that top out of the way so I can work on the bottom part of it, okay? So I'm just going to go I know that the distance I want is 26, so I'm just going to put in 26 right here and then hit enter. 26 millimeters and hit enter. All right. So what moved right then? Nothing moved. Okay. And the reason it didn't move is because we never hooked this and that cube together. Here's my top of the bottom, and my cube. We never hooked it together, so when I let go of this, it goes down. Okay, so we're gonna hold Control in, select A and the cube. Got them both selected. Then I'm gonna right click and hit Assemble. Now, if I were to go move my A is selected. I'm gonna hit Move, and see, now things get a little bit weird. Now I got -10 on my Z. Okay, I know I want 26 out of here. So I think I can just put in 16. Let's try that. If I put in 16 and hit enter. Okay, let's see what that actually did. I put 16 in there. Do I got 40 now? I think I do, but let's see. I'm just going to click anywhere on the build plate. And what I want to know is, do I have 40 millimeters from the bottom? And what I'm going to do then is I'm going to select B, and I'm going to select A. Okay. If the first selection item is an object, the section should also be an object. Okay. Let's see what we got going wrong over here. Well, and actually too, I think we could just hold our shift in and get around those. Don't get that lid in there. And that worked. Okay. Actually, we don't even need to select that. All we want to do is measure this thing right now. Okay, but yeah, we do have to select it. Okay. So let's try to just select the top. I just went underneath kind of, and I'm going to select that. Now I selected B and this assembly right here, which is fine. So now if I went to move it, it would move both parts and the cube over here. Okay, so fine. I'm going to go here to measure. I'm going to go underneath. All I did was I held the left mouse button and orbited underneath. I'm going to select the bottom piece. Now I'm going to go to the top and select this. And I was wrong. See that? We added, I forget what we added to it, but look at there. We're at 33, not at 40. I wanted to be at 40. So what I did is I subtracted those negative off there, and we ended up 7 short. And the reason it did that is because it was counting the -7 as our bottom object here. So right now we're 33 on our Z. So we need to raise this 7 more. Let's go ahead and select this. Now we got to get out of the measure tool, but we need to go ahead and select the our A, which is this right here, and we need to go up 7 more. We're at 16 right now, so we need to go up 7 more. We're going to go to 23. Hit enter. See it go up there? Okay. So now let's measure that again. Are we at our 40? Because we wanted to get from top to bottom 40 millimeters. So we're going to select the B, and we're going to select the A, and we're going to go over here and grab the measure tool. I'm going to left hold on the, click on the bed anywhere, not on a part. Hold my left mouse button in, orbit to the bottom, select the bottom, hold the left mouse button in, click anywhere but on an object, and I'm going to go grab that top lip right there. Now we're at 40. See that? Now we're at 40. So I'm going to hit exit. And now if I want to orbit, I'm just going to push my left mouse button and hold it in, not clicking anywhere where there's an object. Now that's the exact height I want it to be. Okay? So now what we can do is we can go over here and we can click on B, which is the bottom half. Now I can scale B. Remember I was saying how bad it is to scale? There's nothing that's going to hurt scaling B when I do this, there's no lips or anything on it to matter. So I'm going to go here, and right now it's at 7 millimeters tall. I want to get to 40. So, well, we'd have to add 33 to 7 to get to 40. So let's go, we're going to scale up. I'm just going to put 33 here. And there's lots of ways you can do this. You'll probably figure out better ways than I even know. But I just want to show you how to do it, and then you can figure that stuff out, okay? I did that. Now I'm going to hit exit. Now when I orbit around, now this is going to be 40 millimeters tall, okay? But what I need to do, though, is I need to assemble it. It's still, if we look over here on our objects, we got the lid. Remember the lid sitting over there. We got our bottom, which is B. I highlighted it. It shows what the bottom is. Then we got A. We got this assembly right here that consists of A and that cube. So if I click on it, that's A and that cube over there. So what I want to do is I want to assemble A and B. I don't care about the cube right now. And I'm going to show you all we're going to do with the cube is delete it, because the cube is just what helped us hold the position to move that top up and out of the way, okay? So I'm going to select B, then I'm going to hold Control in, and I'm going to select the assembly. See, if you try to select one of the parts of the object, it doesn't want to let you do that. So you have to select the whole assembly. So I got B selected, our bottom, then the assembly, which is the cube and the top one. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to right click and I want to hit assemble. Okay, now over here in assemblies, I have under one assembly, I have B, A, and the cube. Okay, great. Now I want to print this thing, and I'm like, oh, I got this cube in the way. What the heck am I going to do with it? Well, if I select anywhere out of there, and I go and I try to select the cube over here, it selects the whole assembly. So I'm just going to go select the cube over here under the objects, and then I'm just going to hit delete. Okay. Now on our build plate, we have this lid going the right direction, and we have our new bottom part of the container at 40 millimeters tall. So we've taken a model. Now if I import that again, let's see, container bottom, I'm just going to import it again to show you. Now every time you import something, it goes to the middle of the build tray. I'm going to move that out. So we've taken this model right here, which is 14 millimeters tall, and we've made this one the same exact thing, 40 millimeters tall. And we haven't, this lip is still exactly the same size because we never scaled that lip, you know, to damage it. So if we took, let's say we put this one by there, and we said, okay, we got to scale this up from 14. We're going to have to add 26 to make it 40. So if we hit that, make it 40. Now this is the same thing that we did, except for look at the size difference of this lip over here versus this lip. And if we double click out here to unselect some stuff here, if we look at that, I mean, look at how big that lip got. There's no way that lid is going to slide on this 40. Now, if you just wanted to make something 40 millimeters tall and you didn't care about getting that lip back on it, and honestly, like weird thing about these little containers like this right here, it's perfect if you know anybody that sews or does embroidery, has an embroidery machine, or keeps their needles together. It's a really good place to put the packages of needles. And a lot of people don't even want lids on them because it's just so much easier to grab a pack of needles out of there and not even worry about the lid. Now, when you had the little 14 millimeter tall container, that's a nice size container to put your SDs, your micro SDs in and stuff in your briefcase or your purse or something, or your pocket. I think these are actually made for your pocket, but that way when you get to the office, you're not trying. You ever lose a micro SD? They're not fun to have to try to find, even if you drop one under your desk. They're tiny. So that's what, that 14 millimeter, and you could even make it smaller than that to put in there. But in this video, I hope you've learned, because this is really, I'm not going to say all you need, because I'm going to take you and show you how to do the same thing to a mesh file in Fusion 360. But by just learning this right here, it's incredibly going to help you size. I mean, you'll just be able to get anything off, these free download files and size them to however you want. Now, you could do the same thing if you wanted to make this wider. I'm gonna delete that one right there. Now, if we were wanting to make this wider, I would do kind of the same thing here. Now, if I'm just going to make it wider, I can split this down the middle vertical, because, well, hey, there again, let's look at this. I just said I could split it down the middle vertical. No, I wouldn't really want to do that, because it's got these little cutouts in here, the front and the back. So what I'd do is, if I wanted to make this wider, I would take I'm going to select it, and then I'm going to go ahead and take my cut tool, and then now I can change this plane. See how this plane is horizontal here? Now I can take this and I can spin that around, okay? And if I go on the inside, it locks on these lines. If I go on the outside, it locks on each one of those lines like that. So what are those? Those are 5 degree on the outside. If I move my mouse to the inside, it locks that way, okay? So now at this point, I have a vertical plane going through this model, and I could cut on that vertical plane. Only problem is I don't want to cut right there where those where those notches are. So all I would do is, it's right in the middle. It was 40 inches wide. It's at 20. I would just move this over to, I think, 10, okay? And when I moved that over to 10, it moved it over. Let's see. What did it do? Did I not? Oh, I moved the Z on that. Yeah, I moved the Z. Let's hit undo. All right, so how this deal works here, I'm just gonna go out of here, because I want to show everybody, like, from the very beginning how this works. Okay, I have my model selected that I want to cut the bottom of this container. I go here and I select cut up on top here. Now, this is where we cut this before. Now, it was smaller. It was 14 millimeters tall. Now it's 40. So it's putting the cut in the Z height of 20 millimeters. So there's 20 here and 20 on the green up on top. Now, what's kind of cool about this is, see when I hover that mouse over there and I move it to the right place, see how that gets yellow? Now, you can just enter the measurement in there, but also if you're trying to miss something, you can move that plane right there. See that? That's kind of cool. But I'm going to put that back on 20, which was the center. Now, I'm going to go and I'm going to turn it, because we want to cut this vertically. And I'm going right here to the 90. I'm letting go here, okay, at the 90. Now, I've got this plane going up and down, but it's right in the middle of that indentation for the latch mechanism. So I want to move this, but I'm still on the Z over here. It's not really letting me enter a figure in yet, okay? But I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to hover on that till that turns yellow, and it tells me right now I'm going to move that. See I'm being able to move that? And I can move that out of that deal. Now I think, let's see what that looks like here. If I move this. Yep, no, we're good. No, I do. I have that crooked. It is crooked. Let's get out of here and start this all over again, folks. So I don't want to do that crooked. I want to cut straight front. Whenever you're doing these cuts, you don't want anything to be crooked. You want everything to be straight as possible. Let's go. This is that one that we scaled. We're going to get that out of here. We don't need it. Okay. So I'm going to look at this. Is this straight? You can kind of eye this thing up from the top. If you ever want to go to the top, you can, whatever you're clicking on here, you can go to the top right here. And this is from the very top right here. And you can just click or move it however you want. See how the font says top? Now, if we go right here, we know this is how we started out. See how we can read top? See when I go around, it moves that top and it's not vertical anymore. I'm talking about the left on the left here, this cube where it says top on the left. Okay, so we know here that I'm going to click on top. This is the part we're working on. This is the lid still up there. And we're just seeing if this is, yeah, it looks like it's centered perfectly. Okay, so what we're going to do then, we're going to click on it and we're going to do our cut. Right now, we don't want to cut like this because that is the plane we cut on before. So I'm going to grab this red deal right here at cone shape. I'm going to go right there. Now I have this at 90 degrees. Okay, so now my plane is turned to 90 degrees. Now I want to move it's right in the center. See how I got the pink box right here and the green box over here? That's telling me where I'm going to cut. And see, I don't want to cut right in the center because of these indentations. So I'm going to go over here and hover till I get a yellow ball. Okay, and it says 21 millimeters each direction, which I'm not sure that's right because I thought this, maybe it was 42. No, it's up here. We're 40 inches wide. Oh, Z is 42. Oh, so it's still measuring Z on there. That's kind of weird. But anyways, I'm just going to grab that ball to where just that ball is and see me moving that plane left to right there. Right now it's in the indentation, but anywhere over here, I could move it. I wouldn't want to move it where it starts to go round, but anywhere right here where it's straight still, that'll work perfect. So I didn't see what it told me I was cutting. It looks like it tells me I'm cutting 29.76 on A and then 1224 on B, which is fine, okay? I've got keep both sides and I'm going to hit perform cut. Then now kind of doesn't look like it, but I have two parts. I have this assembly A and B and this assembly over here B and A. So if we were to unselect this and look at what we got here, so we got this assembly, and if I move it, that's the right side. And then over here, we have the left assembly. If I move it, oh, you see what that did? It cut. Oh, I see what we did there, guys. We made a double cut. We got 4 pieces that we actually cut apart in this thing. This one stayed as one piece. This one went to 2 pieces. So that's okay. You're going to get in situations like that sometime. Let's do this. Let's put this right here. That's this piece and this piece. And we're just going to go ahead and we're going to right click on them. And let's see here. Okay, so it really doesn't matter how that worked because we still have we have this assembly right here, which is our right side. And let's see which one this one is right here. And this computer memory is really getting slow on this thing. It's like I moved the mouse and it's kind of... Okay, so that's my... This assembly right here, these two, is my left side. So I can move that there, hit undo. So to size this thing, you know, if I'm wanting to make it wider, same way. I just got to do whatever I want to do now. So that's my right assembly. And I'm just going to go ahead and hit move to get it out of the way. And let's see. I don't know. Let's just put it right there for now. We're going to get it out of the way now. Now this time we don't have to add any cubes or anything because these are both sitting on the build plate. Okay, I'm going to left click there. Now if you do notice that it did make that bottom a little bit bigger here. Did you guys notice that right here? So what I would do on this is I would do a triple cut on that first procedure we did. You know, where we cut the bottom in half. I would do a triple cut on there because I didn't notice that we were doing that on here. But it all makes sense because when you scale, that's what happens when you scale. So on this situation, I want to make this one wider, okay? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that left assembly, which is right there. I'm going to grab the scale, okay? And I'm just going to go ahead and look. I'm going to orbit around a little bit because I'm going to be grabbing this right here. Oops, undo. I'm going to be grabbing this. Let's see, which one are we going to be grabbing here on this one? Should grab this. Okay. I'm going to hit undo. And I'm just going to hold control down. Now, when I held control down, see this one's green and this one went gray. That means I'm only going to be pulling on that green one there. See that? So I can just go ahead and take this all the way over. And you can do it more precise too. But I'm just going to take that over to where that meets right there. And then now I've got that wider. Oh, and look what I did too. I screwed up this edge over here. Oh, that's crazy. So let's do this. Let's grab that right here. And I think that looks well, we haven't scaled it yet, so we can't have messed with anything yet. So let's do this again then. Let's take another piece and cut it out of the another piece and cut it out. So we can just do this. We can select this piece right here, and I'm gonna make another cut in this, and I'm gonna have to put this vertical. And why did that other part disappear for a second here? Let's get out of there. Okay, so I'm going to select this piece, and I'm going to go here. I don't know why that goes away, but it probably doesn't really matter. I'm going to turn this to 90 degrees. And now I can actually cut right there because, see, I'm not in that whole part of it there. So I'm going to perform that cut right there. All right. Now we're going to end up with 3 pieces. So if we go over here, and I think you can size this, but I'm not sure. Let's select out of here. Let's go here. What do I got selected? Okay, so that's that far right side. I want to grab the middle section. Now you guys are getting a good lesson on this because if you follow along with this, you're gonna know how to get around any problem. Now I got the center section selected, and I'm just gonna move that. See how we got 3 vertical cuts on there now, 3 vertical sections. Now all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get out of there where I got nothing selected. So now I'm gonna go select this part right here. So I'm gonna select this. See what it selects. Okay, it selected that assembly right there. I'm going to go scale, and we're going to hold control in, and we're going to just pull on this green one. See, when I held control in, that green one goes gray, so I'm only pulling on this side right here, and I just want to match it up there. And then I can leave that. Let's see something here. Yep, I can stay in this mode of the scale. I'm going to hold my control in. So when I hold control, and I'm going to just be pulling on the one green, and I'm going to bring that over there like that till it just touches. I don't even think it matters though. I think if you have these outside parts set where they need to be, then you're fine. And I'm going to go like this. I'm going to back up like this, and I'm going to hold shift in, and I'm going to select all that. And it should select all that, and I'm going to make an assembly out of that. Then it's going to put all that stuff, all these things I could still edit if I really wanted to over here. But there's my assembly. But remember when we determined that, and I think I pulled these edges out farther too, because if you look at these side edges, yeah, well, it's kind of hard to tell. Now in Fusion and stuff, we could put the parts together and check our tolerances and stuff like that. But now we have that bottom that we scaled up too much. But let's do something here again. Let's pause this. I'm going to get rid of all this, everything I got on here. I'm going to get rid of it. And I'm going to do a shift, and I'm going to do a delete. Okay? And I'm going to go up here, and I'm just going to add that bottom section. So I go container bottom, hit open. Here's the container bottom again, okay? Because I didn't think, there's no way I could have affected that bottom part. Yeah, that's weird. See, if we got that selected, and we go here and we cut that at 7, which it's at right now. Oh, I see where we did it. Okay, I'm going to right click over here. I'm going to add a cube. I'm going to add a primitive, which is going to be that cube. I'm going to move it over here. I'm going to move that over there like that. So I've got my bottom, and this whole thing's the bottom, but there's two pieces now, A and B. So I'm going to go to move to figure out which one this one is here. Okay, that's my top section. Okay, so it's saying my top section is this one right here. So I'm going to hold control in. I'm going to hook it to that cube. So I got both those selected. I'm going to right click. I'm going to hit assemble. Now I'm going to go, these are assembled down here. I'm going to grab that assembly, and I'm going to grab the part right here. Then I'm going to hit move. I'm going to bring this up. Okay. Now, I'm not doing any measurements on this one. I'm just kind of showing you how things are going to work. Now, remember when we scaled this up over here? We made that bottom floor way bigger. So what we actually need to do is we need to cut this again to get sections that we're not going to screw up. So I'm going to grab this piece right here. Let's see. Yeah, because that's the bottom section. Well, we can actually do the bottom section. Yeah, I can do the bottom section. All right, so I'm going to cut it, and I don't know if I really want to cut it in half. I'm going to come up, see me coming up, making the pink bigger. All right, and I'm going to cut that right there. Now what cuts, this thing kind of screws you up a little bit, this plain deal here. But what actually cuts is what's green and purple. If we were to move this around, now see, this half is green or purple and this half is green. So if I put it back, then that's what cuts, is the green and purple parts here. And we're cutting, it looks like 4.83 is where our cut's going to be. All right, so we're going to perform that cut. All right, so now these two on the bottom here, these are two different pieces. Okay, and we're going to go here. That's our top piece. We got two bottom ones here. And we're going to have to create another cube here because I want to raise this up. So I'm going to click anywhere not on the build plate or not on an object. I'm going to create another cube. I'm going to go add another primitive. I'm going to move that over, and that's the one I'm going to hook to the top part of the bottom again. So let's see, that's the bottom part of that. That's the top part of it. And the way I can tell is I can move it. Okay, no, that's the bottom. See, I got the whole bottom. That's not the part I want. So I'm going to drop it. It's going to go to the ground. It's going to be this part right here that I want. See that ring? That's what I want right here. It's already selected. I'm going to hold Control in. And I'm going to now see, I'm in the I'm in the move still, but I'm going to select this cube over here. See, it's not letting me yet. Just it did let me. Okay, as I say, we might have to get out of move, but I'm going to move this up now. Well, actually, I'm going to right click over here and I'm going to make an assembly out of that because it's not going to let me move that up until I did that. Now with this one selected right here, I can grab that and I can move that up. Sorry this is taking so long, but if you really learn this stuff, as I'm showing you, you're really going to be able to do whatever you want. Like right here, we've changed all this, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab this center ring right here. I'm going to hit out of here. Okay, now I've got nothing selected. I'm going to go ahead and select that center one there, which is going to be this right here. I've got that selected. Now I'm going to go to scale, and what I'm going to do, and we might have been able to do it by not, well, let's see. I'm just going to go here. Now see how it's scaling up and down? If you just hold Control, that's not right. Let's see something here. I think it just looks like it's scaling up and down. No, it is. See how it's growing on both the top and the bottom? Which is actually fine, because this piece I can scale up and down. Yeah. See, I thought I had like uniform selected over here, because if you do have uniform selected, it will scale top to bottom. And if you don't have uniform selected, and we're only scaling the Z, so if I want to scale, let's see something here. Yeah, that's going in and out, left to right. If I put it back, select this again. Now I want to select just the bottom part. And if we hit scale, yeah, because if we moved it, it moves. See how it moves? If we want to scale that, we've got it selected and we hit scale. Part, okay, let's see something here. Object coordinates. It's not object coordinates. Part coordinates. All right, there we go. You know what? This keyboard kind of screwed me up here. I wasn't holding Control down hard enough. But see, if I, just like how I showed you before, when you hold Control down, see how it does that? And that's what we want. We're only, see, if we do this without Control, we're scaling top to bottom. If we hold Control, then we're only scaling the top. And I can just go here and touch this. I can go down here and let's see something now. Well, in this situation, we want it to scale both ways. Yeah. Or, you know, there's a lot of ways. That's the thing, is you can always work around something on these programs. So let's select that again. So it's selected. It's kind of hard to see the white lines, but I'm just going to go ahead and move it down. Grab my blue up here. I just want to barely touch this. All right. Then I'm going to exit out of there. Then I'm going to orbit a little bit. And that's still selected. I'm going to go to scale again. Then I'm going to hold down Control. And then now I'm just going to scale upwards until I just touch that. And I really think you could be, once you have your top and bottom set, I think you can be wherever you want to be on there. Okay. So now what I would do is you would need to make a full assembly out of this. So I'm going to hold Shift down. I'm going to go over this. Now that's a full assembly. And I'm going to right click and I'm going to go Assemble. Now I'm just going to go and grab each one of those cubes individually and delete them. Okay. So now when we cut this box in half again, let's just go to this side right here. And I think when you do these cuts, I kind of think you really need to have your side set really straight. So I'm going to go cut here again. Now we don't want to cut this way. We want to cut vertically. So I'm going to grab this, move this around. See how I said you got pink on one side, green on the other side? If we go back, the first way I was going to cut, the plane is top to bottom, green, purple. So if we move this over here, and we go right there, now we're going to cut left to right, and we're going to perform the cut. Now I want to look at that bottom, because if I select this right side here, and let's see, should be able to select one side or the other. Okay, here's the right side selected. Always when you're moving stuff, if you just grab this like this, it's going to be hard to line up. Okay, so I'm going to hit undo. I always try to hit the move, because the move is going to give you the arrows and how you're going to move this around. Okay, now what I want to do is I just want to do, now this is like where Fusion does everything automatically for you. So see now when we do that inspection again, look how we didn't change anything. We did all that work to this model and we didn't change a thing when it comes to the lip on the top. We made it wider, we made it taller. Our bottom is still, remember how it got wide that one time we scaled it because we didn't triple cut it? We only cut it twice. But there you go. So if if you wanted to cut this though, I would I'd get out of the scale part. I'd hold Shift in. I'd go around the whole object, Shift, and then do that. Then I would right click and I would go Assemble. And then I think you'd be safer to print it right now. And see, when we go to print though, if we just go up here and print and slice it, see if any errors. And if you did get errors, you could fix the model too. Okay, yeah, we got no errors or anything. And the beauty of this though is when we slice this, nothing changed. That bottom is no thicker than when we started. So it's actually a pretty good way to do this. If you go back to prepare, and you ever did have some stuff coming over here with some errors, you could just right click on the model with it selected and go fix model right here. And generally it'll fix it for you. It's fixing something right now. We don't even have anything broken. Probably gonna have something broken when we get done with this fix. Maybe not. I don't know. Okay, so we got no errors, and that's how to size stuff. So basically, you can kind of size anything where you can find a flat place, you can cut it and change anything. And it's not going to affect the model. And I'm sorry this actually took so long, but I think if you stayed with me, you're going to be pretty proficient. Or maybe you just had a question about not being able to select one of those cubes or something. But we'll go into Fusion 360, and I'll show you how to kind of do the same exact thing with a STL mesh. So, okay, well, thank you for watching.